What's going on, guys? Super Savage 789 here, bringing you guys a video. And today we're doing what Jiraiya found Nagato early, episode 9. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. A small group of shinobi under Tobi's reign would be taking down remaining Jinchuriki at a rapid rate, alarming all the Kage. It especially rattles up Nagato since he's worried for the safety of his wife and son. Wanting to maintain peace, Nagato would call for a Kage summit, taking Itachi and Shisui as his bodyguards. To avoid them getting the Nine Tails while he's gone, Nagato would send Naruto and Kushina to Miyoboku, with Jiraiya taking them. Naruto would only be told that he has some training to do there, which excites him. He and Jiraiya would begin training, where they both master Sage Mode, while Kushina merely relaxes with Shima, knowing of the situation. At the summit, there would of course be some changes in the roster. The Kazekage would of course be Kankuro, since in the last episode Gaara stayed dead. His bodyguards would be Tamari and Chiyo, since they're two shinobis he can trust. The Mizukage would not be present, since it is now the Amikage, being Yahiko. His bodyguards are his wife Konan and a powerful shinobi named Sai. Remember, Danzo moved all his root shinobi to the mist, which should include Sai, so now he's one of Yagito's bodyguards. They all get to talking about the affairs of the Jinchuriki. Nagato would learn that the only remaining Jinchuriki outside of his village is in the cloud, which aggravates him a bit. He declares they should all team up to take down Madara, which Yahiko and Kankuro support. Onoki and Ei are skeptical of this though. Just then, the room falls silent as they all feel a weird chill in the air. A rift appears in the air, spinning wildly as it grows, worrying everyone. They all prepare for battle as Tobi and Orochimaru exit the rift, landing in the middle of the room. Everyone is on guard as Tobi greets them all in his typical cocky manner. Orochimaru would merely greet Nagato, asking if he can have his body yet, getting the Uzumaki to grit his teeth angrily. Tobi declares that he'll get right to the point, asking the Hokage to give the Nine-Tails Jinchurikis he has, which naturally Nagato refuses. How unfortunate. Everything I need rests on your shoulders, and yet you still play hard to get. At this comment, the cogs turn in the Raikage's head, as he stands up, slamming his hands on the table, asking what the hell he did to be. The masked man turns to him, stating that he assumes the man he sent to already get him has already finished up the Eight Tails, angering A to no end. At that very moment, Kisame finds B in the cloud, and the duo begin battle. The fight is similar to canon, except for the fact that Kisame doesn't have Samehada. This means that he has to rely on his jutsu as well as his natural strength. He puts up a good fight for B, but the Jinchuriki manages to overpower him. When transforming into the Eight Tails and firing a Biju bomb, Kisame is badly damaged enough to allow B to finish him off, meaning that B will survive and Kisame is dead. Back at the summit, Tobi would declare the fourth great ninja war before he and Orochimaru end up leaving. The first ring brought up in the alliance, which everything agreed to. Nagato declares that he should be the leader, which Yahiko and Kankuro agree with. Since it's a majority vote, Nagato becomes the leader. Next up would be what to do with the Jinchuriki. Nagato declares that Naruto, Kushina, and B, if he is still alive, should be allowed to participate in the war, which A scoffs at. If they fight and get beaten, then what? The whole point of fighting would be for nothing. A and Nagato begin debating this fact for several minutes, with no one daring to come in between the two. The debate gets more heated as they practically start shouting at each other. Seeing how stubborn the Raikage is, Shisui tries to help out his Hokage mentor. He activates his Mangekyo, preparing to use Koto Matsukami to make him compliant, but oddly enough, Itachi stops him. Using genjutsu like that isn't true peace. They'd be no better than Madara if they went around doing that. Shisui would agree with his best friend and deactivates his magical eyes. Having had enough of the Renegon bearer, A demands that they take this outside. Mifune declares for the Raikage to remain professional, but oddly out of character, Nagato would agree. Both of them go outside and agree that whoever wins will be allowed to declare the fate of the Jinchuriki. Both Kage clash in an epic brawl for everyone to witness. Every attack could probably destroy a small country, as neither holds back. Nagato begins to get into the fight more and more. At first he'd be using Wind Release and his jutsus that he all has to try and beat the lightning element of A, but begins to progress. He then uses the full extent of the Renegon to show why they call him the reincarnation of the Sage's Sixth Pass. Using the Praetor Path, he absorbs off the lightning cloak, shocking everyone. Nagato then uses the Ashura Path to bombard A with rockets and lasers, leaving him beaten. He manages to dodge a couple of attacks, but some do get to him. From in the air, Nagato flies up and uses Bancho Tenin to lift him up, and then uses the Animal Path to summon a massive rhino right on A, slamming him to the ground. The fight is won by Nagato. Using the King of Hell, Nagato heals A and declares that the Jinchuriki be allowed to fight. Everyone then departs to begin their preparation for the war. When returning to leave, he'd make sure Jiraiya, Kushina, and Naruto all return for the upcoming war. He tells everyone about the war that is about to occur, telling them all to prepare for the oncoming onslaught. They'll have to defend the remaining Jinchuriki, as well as himself, since Obito and Orochimaru both want his eyes. Nagato would get the top men of the Leaf together, and they all begin to strategize ways to win. As they brainstorm, Hiruzen mutters to himself, what would the first and second do? A light bulb turns on in Nagato's mind as he flies off at breakneck speeds. He finds Shisui, asking about the Sound 4 extraction, asking about the status of them. Shisui tells him that they're practically brain dead at this point. They can't function without Shisui using Genjutsu, and even then they can only say certain things or react to certain responses. That's exactly what Nagato wanted to hear. He goes over to the two of them and clasps his hands together, looking like he's struggling to pull something out. He raises his hands out towards the two, and two souls float out of them. Then Nagato slams his hands to the ground and lets out a shout of, Edo Tensei! The two Sound 4 members are surrounded in paper-like material and morph into looking like the first Hokage Hashirama and the second Hokage Tobirama. Nagato apologizes for reviving them, however desperate times cause him to take desperate measures. Hashirama questions who Nagato is, which he reveals being the fifth Hokage, making him ecstatic that Leaf has lasted for so long. His brother doesn't share his sentiment, asking why they've been brought back. Nagato explains about Madara and the war going on, which shocks the duo, barely being able to comprehend that Madara is alive. They agree to help in the war, which would make Nagato happy and relieved. Being quite curious, Tobirama questions in Nagato's eyes, and would explain about the Rinnegan. They'd be amazed that he has such godly eyes, glad that the Leaf is in such safe hands. Preparation for the war would occur, with Hashirama and Tobirama doing their best to understand the world that they currently are in. They'd meet Hiruzen again in a nice scene, and overall they'd have some good character moments, like Tobirama seeing the Uchiha and stuff like that. Over with Orochimaru and Tobi, the Sanin would show off his Edo Tensei, with a few differences in who he shows off. He doesn't have Itachi, Nagato, or Yagura, but would have a couple new people like Kisame, Mei, Tsunade, and Gaara. He also sneaks into the Uzumaki Shrine and releases Minato's soul from the Reaper, meaning they have their fourth Hokage ready for the war as well. Overall, it appears they have much more firepower than they originally had. Nagato would stand in front of the entire alliance, watching as numerous shinobi from different villages begin squabbling. Using his Shinra Tensei, he makes the ground shake, dropping a lot of them to the ground to get their attention. Everyone, listen up. I understand you all have your differences, and you all hold resent for each other. You've killed each other's families and friends, and caused a lot of pain, which led to hate. But that's not the answer. Hatred leads to failure and weakness, and leaves the world in despair. Only by sharing each other's pain can we all understand each other, and stop all this needless bloodshed. The crowd at this point, all of their eyes pointed dead on Nagato, who gives a moment of silence before continuing his speech. Today we have a united enemy. Uchiha Madara and Orochimaru are who we're all fighting to defeat. Some of us will lose our lives during this war. That's the most honorable thing we all can do. To sacrifice yourself to save others' lives makes the world a better place. Before this war starts, I want to thank you all. Two of the people you guys are fighting to save are my wife and son. So truly, thank you. The crowd begins to roar and cheer, listening to Nagato's speech, so inspirational that everyone is ready to battle. Everyone gets into their respective divisions, ready to fight. And guys, that's going to leave it. If you like and subscribe and comment down below what's going to happen in the war arc. As you can see, a lot of changes are going to occur. The Uchiha are kind of all alive to fight in the war, as well as the two Edo Hokage already being out. Minato's and Edo on the opposite side. It's going to be pretty bonkers, so make sure you stay tuned for that. And yeah, bye!